Okay, I think tonight is my utter tipping point with New York 1 because tonight all the other stations covered an awful, awful robbery in Queens where an 11-year-old boy got robbed inside his own school. And this sits too close to home for me because 107 Precinct's investigating the incident. And I do have a wanted flyer from them. Thanks to Laura Ulf for, posting it. But New York 1, you really blew your chance tonight. You really blew your chance tonight. You really did it this time. I am so annoyed with this TV station. In fact, News 12 actually covered a shooting tonight. So that tells you what's going on with our corrupt media. It just proves the point what's going on here. I'm sorry, but I'm literally so annoyed with New York 1 tonight. Every station's covering it, except New York 1. You explain that. Look at this public safety. Nothing about it. Nothing about it. Nothing about it. Go to Queens. I'm just so annoyed with this TV station. They literally blew their chance tonight. At New York 1, I really wish the FCC would revoke your license. Spectrum does not need a news channel anymore at this point if they're not going to cover the crime that matters to us. Okay, so let's read this article from the New York Post, and I'm going to show you the wanted flyer from the 107 precinct. So, let's read this. And by the way, Channel 4 actually interviewed the kid tonight. Believe it or not, the kid came out. The kid actually wanted to be on camera tonight. That's how scared he was. Okay, so let's read this. An unhinged teen broke into a Queens middle school this week and robbed an 11-year-old student at Knifepoint and then attacked a 51-year-old man outside the building. The terrifying episode unfolded Wednesday at about 2:30 p.m. inside the Robert A. Fanwick Junior High School on 144th Street. The 5'2", 110-pound teenager intruder slipped into the school, entered the public bathroom, and approached an 11-year-old male student who was inside. The young robber displayed a knife and pointed at the victim's chest and demanded money. When the frightened student said he didn't have any money, the bandit took off with the victim's water bottle and fled the school. The shaken victim was thankfully not injured, according to police from the 107 precinct. It is unclear whether the attacker attends the middle school. Just minutes after the shocking school incident, the suspect then approached the 51-year-old man at the corner of 85th Road and 149th Street and then began to argue with him. The knife-wielding assailant began to lunge at the victim's throat but did not make contact. The teen continued slashing at the victim multiple times, cutting his jacket but not his arm. And you know what's so scary? I think I might know who this person is. I'm not going to say who it is, but I may have a good idea of what this person looks like. I'm not going to say anything, but, I'm not going to give a tip because the problem is I might be considered racist, that I'm calling one person out. So I'm just going to keep my mouth shut because, the way politically correct culture works, I don't want to get canceled. He then fled the water bottle he had stolen from the middle school student, the 51-year-old, and ran off. The victim was not injured. Okay, so here we go. See, this is what I mean with cancel culture. They're not even going to mention the suspect's possibly Latino. My goodness. So let's just give an accurate description, and if YouTube thinks it's inappropriate what I'm about to say, well, screw you, Susan Wojcicki. The 107 precinct described the suspect as having a slim build, light complexion, possibly Latino, and was last seen wearing a black mask, a black hooded sweatshirt, a black jacket, and black pants. The NYPD on Sunday released a surveillance image obtained from a local deli and a police sketch depicting the wanted individual. Okay, so tips, blah, blah, blah. As I said, I may have seen this guy before. Might know him on a first-name basis. But again, what happens is, with cancel culture, you don't want to take the chance, That's not the point. The point is, I'm just so annoyed at New York 1. I'm just disgusted with them. They really blew up their, chances tonight. Any chances of redeeming themselves as a decent TV station. No, you blew it. You blew it, New York 1. Really blew it. And I'm just really sick and tired of it. So let's see where the school is. I'm going to look it up. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to look up if it's on the map anywhere. Let's see if we can pull up a map. Okay, we can pull up a map. Good. So I'll see where the school is. So you may have an idea where the school is. Yep. Like I figured, I know exactly where the school is. Right by the old flagship diner that used to be in Briarwood. So anyhow, let's just read the flyer from 107 Precinct. So I'll try to make a full screen. You all can see it. Okay, here we go. So they're saying it's a Knifepoint robbery, and I'm going to have this as my thumbnail because, you know, as I said, I am definitely going to keep an open eye. You know, come to think of it, he kind of doesn't look like somebody who I recognize now because the sketch kind of fooled me. Yeah, see? Thought he looked like somebody who I used to work with at a different hospital, but yeah, that's not him. That's not him, no. Kind of looks like him. Maybe a relative, I don't know. But, you know, that's the problem. Maybe this felon got out. Maybe because of bail reform. I don't know at this point. But that's the problem with this bail reform law. What if this guy goes to prison and then all of a sudden he gets out the next day? That's the point. You know, that's why Nassau County elected Ann Donnelly as the district attorney. Melinda Katz, I'm calling you out. You need to pursue maximum charges on this guy. Alright? And maybe even ask the feds to do some charges, because that's the only legal loophole we have against Cuomo's ridiculous law. Okay. So here's more specifics. The perpetrator, he did approach a 50... Okay, here we go. Okay, so the 50-year-old man almost slashed the throat and then cutting a jacket. Okay. Alright, so there we go. Perpetrator then fled westbound on 85th Avenue. Blah, blah, blah. So again, it says 107 Precinct. But again, New York 1, I mean, I already just blew a gasket with this TV station. So obviously, again, every tip matters. Well, again, I'm not going to be part of cancel culture. So, woohoo, liberals. You won for one night. Okay, what else am I looking for? I'm sorry if I'm making it political, but, you know, everything is cancel culture these days. And the way I keep putting these crime videos up, there's a good chance that I could get canceled on YouTube. So, thanks for all the support. Means a lot. You watch these videos, and believe me, there's going to be more to come if I'm even allowed to stay on YouTube. Okay, here's the next one. By the way, the media has been covering this one. Channel 4 did bring it up tonight. Thank you, Gilma Alamos. Alright, so anyhow, suspect wanted for multiple robberies. In fact, I think the Queen's Courier had an article about this earlier this month. Police now report the same suspect who attacked the 65-year-old man with a metal pipe has attacked more victims. Look at that. So the Queen's Courier reported on this guy, but apparently there's more incidents. Look at that. One of the victims was attacked on November 11th around 6:30 in the morning on 142nd Street and 107th Avenue. November 10th, 59-year-old victim was attacked on Jamaica Ave, 104th Street. After November 21st incident, the recent one took place on November 24th around 8:15 p.m. on 109th Avenue and 142nd Street, attacking a 67-year-old male victim and took off with his wallet. Ongoing investigation. So, disturbing. And you know New York 1's not going to cover that either. Here's a good look at him. And then we're going to get to this. Yes, more problems in my neighborhood. Fresh Meadows man faces life in prison for shooting death of mother's boyfriend, according to Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz. Okay, here we go. A Fresh Meadows man was indicted by a Queens grand jury on murder charges for gunning down his mother's companion in her Pocono house's apartment last month, according to Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz. Deshaun McCain was arraigned Wednesday before Queens Supreme Court Justice Kenneth Holder on 4-count indictment charging him with murder, weapons charges, and endangering the welfare of a child. According to the incident, shortly after 7 p.m. on November 2nd, McCain was inside his mother's apartment at the intersection of Parsons Boulevard and Jewel Avenue, along with her boyfriend, Anthony Rauger. Hey, wait a minute. This is the incident the Citizen app sent me on election night. Wow, so we actually have more details about it. Yeah, because the Citizen app sent me a notification about it. It's 107 precinct sent out all units. After the brief dispute between the two men, McCain allegedly shot Ragor, striking him in the head in jest. Both McCain's mother and her 9-year-old grandson were present at the shooting. EMS transported Ragor to Booth Memorial Medical Center in Flushing, where he was pronounced dead. McCain turned himself in to authorities at the nearby 107 precinct on Jewel Avenue 1 week later. Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz said, as alleged, this domestic dispute turned deadly when the defendant, in possession of an illegal firearm, fired the weapon multiple times at the victim. The defendant will now be held accountable in court. So again, thank you, Melinda Katz. You know, I really hope that she's going to come through for the, if they do find that guy who assaulted the kid. Justice Holder ordered the defendant to return to court on December 16th. If convicted, Mr. McCain faces up to 25 years to life in prison. So, that's going to be a big deal. And again, you know New York One's not going to cover that. They won't send a reporter over to Kew Gardens. I mean, this is a big deal. You know? I mean, I hope the Queen's Courier gives an update next week. But I will be keeping an eye on this. Because, I mean, look at this. McCain, this guy was from Fresh Meadows. There you go. More crime that New York One's not going to cover. I mean, there's so much going on. I mean, look at AM New York. All right, so they do have suspects of interest in what happened. By the way, I want to look for it. Let's see if I can find it on Facebook. Hang on. I'm going to look for it very quickly. I do apologize. It's going to take a while to find it. Yeah. No, not it, no. That's odd. I thought there was a picture I'd saved on Facebook, but I guess not. Yeah, it's going to take a while for me to find it. Nope. Nope. Do apologize. Let's see if I can find it on Bayside, Queens. I know it was somewhere. I have to find it. If I can find it. Okay, let me just look it up. Okay, now I'm not going to find it anywhere. Unless, can I just find it on Twitter? You're going to have to believe me. I mean, there was a picture that was released by 111 Precinct. So, let me just see if I can find it. Because we actually have a confirmed picture of a suspect wanted for the Cloud Tequila incident. Oh, look at this! New York One's not going to cover this either. Burglary happened on November 18th in the vicinity of 26th Avenue and Clearview Expressway. Man, you know, it's like 107 and 111 Precinct. I mean, they've been seeing a lot of issues lately. And then another robbery. Yeah, but I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for something else. Here we go. Found it. Here we go. So we finally have a suspect of interest in connection to the shooting that happened at Cloud Tequila on November 13th. So here's a good look at the suspect. 111 Precinct is looking for a suspect that fits the description of a black male last seen wearing a black hoodie, possibly wearing a black coat. So here's a good look at him. I saw this on Bayside Queens Facebook group. I thought I had the thing saved, but you know, thank goodness I checked 111 Precinct's Twitter account. In fact, I should be following them. That's the precinct where Osnum Hall is. All right. Anyhow, let's continue on with more crime. I want to load that one up, but let's look at this one. 2 suspects sought for subway shooting in East Harlem. All right. So here we go. 2 men ages 21 and 22 are wanted for the connection of the shooting that happened on the early morning of Saturday, December 4th. So we have a video of the suspects. Here's a good look at them. So I am just taking a quick look at this video, and you know, there was a better picture of it if we can find. Here we go. This is it. So here's who the police are looking for. What the story I broke yesterday morning. Yeah, and same old New York one, not covering the crime. And then look at this. Speaking of forgotten incidents, I'll read that one after. Let's get to Queens first. Couple mugged 75-year-old man walking through Queensbridge Park last week. 75-year-old man was strolling through the northern edge of Queensbridge Park in Long Island City last Sunday, which was on November 28th. So here we go. The victim was approached by a man and a woman who proceeded to shove him to the ground. The woman physically restrained the man's arms from behind while her partner went through her victim's pocket and removed his wallet containing a debit card and $20 in cash. The assailants then fled the park and then went to a deli located at 10-03 40th Avenue. The victim pursued his alleged muggers and confronted the woman inside the deli as she was pretending to use the debit card in an ATM. Physical altercation ensued between the victim and the woman took off running with her partner, who had been outside the deli acting as a lookout. Victim was not injured and refused medical attention. So we have a surveillance fixture. The man was last seen wearing a light blue Yankees baseball cap under a dark hoodie with a black leather jacket, dark jeans, and white sneakers. The woman was wearing a blue puffy winter jacket over a winter hoodie with blue jeans and dark sneakers. Neither were maxed, and the woman was carrying a black handbag. No arrest, ongoing investigations. So and then there's one more I want to read. Robbery at a bodega in Elmhurst in November. $72,000 was stolen. Police from the 110th Precinct are on the lookout for a man who walked into a Queens bodega in November and made off with $72,000 in cash. The suspect entered the Sarlin Atin Grill and Filipino Grocery located at 89-12 Queens Boulevard just after 8 p.m. on the evening of Saturday, November 20th, and went directly behind the unattended counter. The man can be seen on video surveillance as he rifled through the cash register, removing $72,000 before exiting the store. The suspect then walked around the corner, removed the mask and the hooded sweatshirt he was wearing during the robbery, hid the cash in the hoodie before taking off in a dark-colored Nissan SUV. The NYPD released images of the man who wore a multicolored sweatshirt over a gray t-shirt, gray sweatpants, and dark-colored sneakers. No arrest, ongoing investigations. So, here's a surveillance video of it. Yeah, here we go. Look at this. The guy just freaking goes into the store and just takes the cash. I mean, this is a good surveillance video, so the cops should be able to get him in 110 Precinct. And mind you, this happened right by Queen Center Mall. Okay, so let's just go to AM New York. Go back to the crime. See if anything else is notable. Yeah, I'm not going to get into the public housing in the Bronx. That's just too much for me to get into tonight. So this is the last one we're going to read. Very serious incident that happened in Staten Island that New York 1 should have covered, but, you know, New York 1, yeah, they're just not going to care. You know, they don't. No, just forget it. Driver dies in fatal collision with MTA bus in Staten Island. So here we go. Driver died after colliding with an MTA bus on Staten Island Saturday evening, December 4th. Borough resident Mikhail Cervensky was heading west, 40-year-old person, in a Subaru sedan on Ebbett Street between Melinda Place and Weed Avenue in Oakwood just before 10 p.m. last night when he hit the oncoming S76 bus. Paramedics brought the man to Staten Island University Hospital North, where he was pronounced dead. Cops did not have made any arrests, but continued to investigate the incident. The bus driver was brought to the hospital with a back injury, was later released, and there were no passengers on board at the time of the crash. So, collision investigation squad's going to look into what happened, but still. Just very quickly, let's see if New York 1 has anything about Staten Island here. Oh boy. They actually have Lee Selden on here. Oh, well, this happened last week in Staten Island that they actually did cover. I will take a look at that in just a second. They haven't even updated the Staten Island section of this website. New York 1 is such a joke. Yeah, this is a brief one, so I'll just quickly read this. So this happened, this happened almost 2 weeks ago. Man had died after crashing his car into a school in Staten Island on November 20... Let me make sure I got the date right. November 23rd, okay. Police say it happened before midnight at Wagner High School in Seaview. Investigators say the 24-year-old driver was speeding on Manor Road when he lost control of his 2020 Dodge Challenger, striking the side of the school. The impact caused the car to flip over and catch on fire. Police say the driver was pronounced dead at the scenes. So there's some good news, no structural damage, but here you go. New York 1 just ignoring the news as usual, and I'm pretty much done here. I've gotten it all out of my system about this TV station that just doesn't care about what's going on. You think they really care? You honestly think they really care? No! And I am going to keep talking about it. As long as YouTube lets me keep uploading. I'm not going anywhere. You hear me, Spectrum? I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to keep calling out your wonderful TV station in Chelsea until you get it right for once. Because let me show you something very quickly. To prove one last point tonight. See? For once, News 12 Long Island actually did the right thing tonight. So maybe New York 1 should pay attention to what's going on, is the message. And I also want to criticize the weather, one last thing. We're supposed to be getting a very bad storm on Wednesday. The weather's actually supposed to be all crazy with warm and then cold and warm and then cold, warm, cold, and for whatever reason they don't have it on here. Now, it's not to discredit Senator Bob Dole passing, and I'm upset about that, but you know, New York 1 should again really take a look at the media cycle, because I just don't think they really pay attention. So that's it. Thank you for watching.